Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. I'm Pokemon Trainer Neats and you're watching episode 7 of Theme Deck Thursday. So last week we looked at the black and white basic blue deck. This week we're looking at one of my most favourite decks of the built-in theme decks, and this is black and white basic orange. It's a fighting deck, there's loads of cool Pokemon in this deck, so let's dive right in and take a look. So, there's a few main attackers we can use in this deck actually. There's some pretty hard hitters all across the board. So the deck has 26 Pokemon, 16 trainers and 18 energy. So for a theme deck, again, it's a really even sort of split. Better than you would expect from a regular theme deck anyway. Okay, so the deck starts off with 4 Timber, 3 Girder, 2 Conkeldurr. Now this is one of my favourite attackers because of its ability. This Pokemon gets plus 20 hit points for each fighting energy attached to it. Now of course this deck is only comprised of fighting energy. You get 4 fighting energy on this beast and you're looking at a lot of hit points. And a tank that is very hard to take down. So, in terms of setting up, this is one of the ones I try and set up first. Then we've got 2 Throw. I really enjoy using this Pokemon as well. You can Circle Throw for 30 and force your opponent to switch. With one of their bench Pokemon, so it just disrupts them a little bit, and then Storm Throw for 80 and isn't affected by resistance. For a theme deck, that's a pretty decent attack. Then we've got 3 Roggenrola, 2 Boldore, 1 Gigalith. Again, I like this Gigalith. The more fighting energy it has on it, the more damage it does with Rock Bullet. So potentially, I mean, with 4 energy there, you can be doing 120 as a base with 4 fighting energy attached. Sheer is an attack I try to avoid if I can. But if I know I need the energy quickly and I've got plenty in deck, then I will use it if I have to. Then moving on, we've got 3 Drillbur, 1 Excadrill, 3 Mienfoo, and 2 Mienshao. So these are more secondary attackers in terms of evolutions. I will usually go for the other ones first, but these are decent attackers as well. Trainer cards, we've got 2 Pokedex, 2 Pokemon Catcher, 2 Energy Search, 2 Heavy Ball. This trainer is probably one of the MVPs of this deck, as most of our beefy attackers have 3 retreat cost or more. 2 Switch, 2 N, 2 Cheren, 2 Giant Cape. So really good lineup of trainers there. I really do like the trainer cards that are in this deck. And then our 18 fighting energy cards. So that is the black and white basic orange deck. So as usual, we're just going to head straight over to the versus mode and see how we can get on. So we'll go straight over there now. Whether we win or we lose, it really doesn't matter. It's just about showing what's in the deck. So we're going to head to the theme deck mode. Black and white basic orange. Let's hit play and away we go. Okay, so we're playing against the Mental Might deck, which is actually the deck we're going to get to next week. And unfortunately that does have a slight type advantage against us. So we're going to call the coin flip. As long as my opponent doesn't get the Gallade set up, then we'll be alright. Or if we can get a faster setup, then that'll put us in a slightly better position. So my opponent's going first. That's not a bad start, actually. We're going to start Mienfoo. Now, the Mienfoo-Mienshao line is weak to Psychic, so that's not great. But interesting to note, though, all the colourless Pokemon that are in Mental Might are weak to fighting, so they kind of balance each other out a little bit. So we've got a reasonable starting hand. Could do with some more energy, but there's plenty of it in the deck, so we should draw into it quite handily. I've seen worse starts, put it that way. Okay, so let's see if our opponent has any benched Pokemon. Thought we'd have a change from extra background music today, and we'd just go with the built-in music on TCGO. So, just waiting on my opponent here. The Mental Might deck is also one of my favourite decks. I think it's a close toss-up between Basic Orange and Mental Might as to which is my total favourite. But if I ever have any daily challenges involving Psychic and fighting Pokemon, these two decks are my go-to decks. Okay, so my opponent finally makes a move, and we're off. So, my opponent starts Lone Ralts, which is okay for us, I suppose. So let's see what my opponent can come up with here. My opponent seems a little slow. So we're still... oh, just a pass from my opponent, so... okay. Right, well let's attach an energy to the Mienfoo. We'll throw the giant... my opponent concedes. Well, we're going to jump into a second game because that game showed us absolutely nothing. But we're only a short way into this week's episode of Theme Deck Thursday, so I think we've got time for another game. Ooh, 50 tokens. That's good. Of course, I do collect the tokens. If any of you see my huge online Sun and Moon pack opening, you will know that when I get to 10,000 tokens, I blow all my tokens on the newest expansion. So, okay then, let's get right into another game then. Okay, so, another person with the Mental Might deck. This time we're against Max Wilhelm. And hopefully we'll get a game out of this one. So we're calling the coin flip, gonna pick heads. And we lost the coin flip, so looks like we're gonna go second maybe? Depends what my opponent picks. Oh no, we're going first. Sometimes with theme decks going second can be an advantage because you know that your opponent's just not gonna knock you out straight away. Okay, so in terms of actual evolutions, we do have Excadrill in hand, so I'm thinking we start Drilbur here. We've got Cheren and we've got Heavy Ball, so we can get some stuff out. The Heavy Ball we shall be using for Boldore, since we have Gigalith in hand. We may as well try and build up that evolution line. And the Cheren will help us get some cards too. I'm going to play the Cheren first, because we really need to just try and draw into some energy. In fact, I'm inclined to just... I don't know... Thing is, the Excadrill will take 3 turns to power up, and I'd rather just power up the Gigalith, to be honest. Depends what my opponent starts with. My opponent starts Miltank. Okay, we'll bench the throw. We'll play Cheren to draw into the Boldore and Roggenrola. So we'll bench the Roggenrola. I'm going to put the energy on this Roggenrola. And we're just going to have to pass, because we don't really have a lot else. But in terms of getting evolutions set up, we're actually in a reasonable place. So my opponent attaches energy to the Miltank and benches Hoothoot. That Hoothoot is probably the MVP of that deck. If you can start with that Hoothoot, it really does help you. Oh, Escape Rope. Okay. In which case I'm going to promote the second Roggenrola. Sorry, Roggenrola. I wonder if we're going to see the Hoothoot, actually. So I said in the first battle that all the colourless Pokemon in this deck are weak to fighting. Hoothoot is resistant, of course, being a flying type. So my opponent promotes the Ralts, benches whatever that is, Golett. Okay, so we draw into an energy here. So we'll evolve to Boldore, evolve to Excadrill, attach fighting energy to Boldore, play Heavy Ball, and we'll use it to get Gurdurr. And actually, this is quite good that I'm using this deck right now, because one of the daily challenges I've currently got stored ready for completion is a Fighting Evolutions challenge. So it's all good, so we'll evolve there, and we'll just have to pass. But so far so good. We've got some big beefy Pokemon on the bench, so I'd say we're doing a little better than our opponent in terms of setup. I mean, if I was my opponent, I probably would have promoted the Hoothoot. Its resistance to fighting, coupled with the fact that it can draw cards, is a win-win combination for me. I mean, there is the slight downside that it draws your opponent cards as well, but... in a theme deck, it's not bad. You wouldn't want to do that in a competitive deck, but then you wouldn't run that Hoot Hoot in a competitive deck, really. Okay, so there is a second energy onto the Miltank. We see a Woobat come down. What else are we going to see from my opponent? Probably not a lot. We see a Furfrou come down. Anything that goes on that bench with fighting weakness is very good for us. So, ooh, look at that, we drew into Conkeldurr. Okay, so we're going to evolve to Gigalith. We're going to evolve to Conkeldurr. See, now if we could get this in the active, we could use Sheer, but we can't, so we're just going to have to pass. So, what's my opponent going to do this turn? Evolve to Swoobat. Now that does have fighting resistance, so we don't really want to attack into that if we can help it. Unless we're using Gigalith. So just a pass from my opponent, so it looks like we're playing a game of Draw Pass. So we'll attach a third energy to Gigalith. If I can get away without using Sheer, I'm going to. So, what do we see from my opponent? I could do a drawing into a switch or something, actually. We see a third energy onto the Miltank, and a pass. There's my fourth fighting energy. Gigalith is ready to go. Pass the turn. Now we need to start powering up something else. Just another pass from my opponent. There's a Mienfoo, we'll bench that. And pass. And another pass from my opponent. This is turning into a game of Draw Pass. We'll throw the Giant Cape onto Gigalith, just to give it a couple 20 extra hit points. And pass. It's quite a long time since I've played the Draw Pass game. I remember round 8 at UK Nationals last year, I played the Draw Pass game. My opponent was item locking me with Seismitoad, so I just draw pass, draw pass, draw pass. Until my opponent eventually broke the lock and I ran him over with hammers. Okay, where am I going to put this energy? This actually takes 2 to retreat, so I'm just going to leave it there. We're going to start powering up Conkeldurr. Might as well. I'm quite content to sit and play the Draw Pass game. We see a Great Ball from my opponent. What's this going to find? Nothing. So a fail. And just a pass from my opponent. So interesting. There's a Pokemon Catcher. I wonder if we try and catcher out that Miltank. Tails anyway. Never mind. Pass. Anything from my opponent or nothing? Well, this has definitely turned out to be a much better game than the first. Ooh, Escape Rope. Okay. That's only got 1 retreat cost. We're going to have to throw that up. Everything else has got too much retreat cost. To be honest, the Mienfoo's going to get knocked out anyway, so... Yep, there's the knockout on the Mienfoo, so now it's time for Gigalith to run riot. Sometimes in theme deck battles you just have to sacrifice a small Pokemon to be able to attack with your bigger one. Now, do I play N? I think I probably better had. I mean, the danger with playing N is that I give my opponent what they need, but they've got no energy on the board. So, I'm prepared to risk, I'm prepared to take, and it's given me some energy here so I can actually power up Conkeldurr as well. So, we're just going to Rock Bullet here for a lot of damage. 240, nice. So, we'll take our first prize card. And it's a Mienfoo, so we'll pop that onto the bench so that we can hopefully get Mienshao set up at some point. So that N actually gave us a pretty decent hand. So we got things like Cherrim, we got some energy. Oh, my opponent's conceded. Well, I guess the writing was on the wall, really. If my opponent didn't really have much in the way of energy going forwards, then they would have been in a situation where we were just going to overrun them in 5 turns anyway, so... Yeah, another victory with the black and white basic orange. 25 tokens there too, which is always good. So how many versus points is that going to get us? I think that may just take us to 210. There's the Latios EX from Roaring Skies. Still sticking at 210, so just 10 points for that one. I think we had the advantage anyway, so... yeah, so that's all good. So that is the black and white basic orange deck. Like I said, one of my favourite decks. And, you know, as you saw, I mean, sometimes you just need to slowly build up your attackers, and then if you're in a position where you've got the energy on the board but your opponent doesn't, you are in such a commanding position. So yeah, it's a really, really good deck. So in next week's episode, we'll be looking at the Mental Might deck, which of course we've played against a couple of times, including that battle just then. So yeah, that's going to be the deck we look at in next week's episode. So if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button for me. If this is your first time to the channel, please do subscribe. I do episodes for this series every Thursday, alongside my TCG weekly videos on a Wednesday, and my semi-regular series of Blister Bonanza, which I do on the 1st and 15th every month. And then I just throw in other videos at other points. So there's always plenty of content to look forward to on the channel. You can get in touch with me the usual ways. You can reach me via email, PokemonTrainerNeats@hotmail.com. You can also find me on Twitter @PokemonTrainerNeats. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all soon.